Voice of Change News.
This is Voice of Change Radio. I'm Amanda Kumalo. A quick look at the top stories. Zimbabwe's future will be shaped by ED and Zanu PF. In business news, businesses face FIU wrath over illegal forward pricing. In regional and international news, several killed in hotel siege in Somalia's Mogadishu. In sports news, Shaya's legendary status to be immortalised. The news in detail. Zimbabwe's future is poised to be shaped by the visionary leadership of President Mnangagwa and the steadfast determination of Zanu PF. The ruling party, as a result of its constant grassroots engagement and internal restructuring, has set the stage for a resounding win in the forthcoming harmonized elections on August 23. Zanu PF National Commissioner Comrade Mike Bima has said. In an interview at the end of the week-long induction and orientation workshop for Zanu PF aspiring legislators in Gweru over the weekend, Comrade Bima said elections are not just an event but a process of which the ruling party has been part of since the last election. The orientation and induction workshop was spearheaded by the Herbert Tepo School of Ideology. Zanu PF has during the workshop been explaining its core values and principles that will guide the party members' election conduct and framing of campaign messaging. Zanu PF First Secretary President Mnangagwa officially opened the workshop and underscored the need for unity of purpose among party cadres so that the party is assured of a landslide victory. The government has moved a gear up in operationalizing the principles of devolution to push economic and sustainable development from community to national level to realize Vision 2030. The vision, as enunciated by President Mnangagwa, is to turn the country in an upper middle class economy by that year. This was said by the minister responsible for monitoring and evaluation in the office of the President, Dr. Gumbo, while touring an Amaklimbi Madora processing plant in the Machiloni area of Beitbridge. He said devolution demanded that provincial authorities be empowered to spearhead economic and social development in their jurisdictions by leveraging local resources. Moving on to business news. The Financial Intelligence Unit FIU of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe RBZ will hit delinquent businesses using forward pricing to manipulate exchange rates by imposing administrative fines and indefinitely freezing bank accounts of business entities caught breaking the law. This comes as the central bank has condemned false social media reports this week that banks were deactivating international credit and debit cards, with the commercial banks named now deassociating themselves from these social media statements. The RBZ reports that there is sufficient foreign currency in the market to meet legitimate demands. The double actions by the RBZ and FIU sought to end a chain of false information on social media over MasterCards and ensure that all businesses followed the law when it came to setting prices using current exchange rates. In news beyond our borders, at least 6 civilians have been killed and 10 others wounded in a 6-hour siege by fighters from the armed group Al-Shabaab at a beachside hotel in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, police said on Saturday. Security forces killed 7 attackers from the Al-Qaeda-linked rebel group, the statement said. The attack took place on Friday evening at the popular upmarket Pearl restaurant on the capital's Lido beach. And finally, in sports news, the construction of the statue of the legendary late former footballer George Mastermind Shaya is set to begin this week at Rufaro Stadium. The former Dynamos and Warriors star died in August 2021 after a long illness. But the legacy of arguably the best player to emerge in this country will live on thanks to the planned erection of his statue at the ceremonial home of football. Towards the statue will be a collection of outstanding football stakeholders, including journalist names who have played key roles for football in the past. That brings us to the end of this bulletin.
Voice of Change News.